we've been getting a lot of questions at the store on how to put your plants to sleep for the winter. There's not a lot involved, the plant does a lot of the work, but I'm going to take you through some steps on how to get ready for winter. Okay, so the first rule of having perennials, shrubs, and trees in Saskatchewan is they have to be planted in the ground to survive the winter. You need to get those roots buried in the ground. So I've got a catmint here, I'm going to plant and show you how. I've already got my hole dug. If you need a refresher on planting, kind of squeeze the roots a little bit. Plant them in your hole, make the hole a little bit bigger than you would normally for the plant pot. And then just backfill with nice, just topsoil. If you've got clay in your soil, you're going to want to try and amend that a little bit. Just filling it in really nice, pack it in. Make sure all those roots are covered. Here we go. So you can see on this catmint here, he's starting to change color a little bit. And even with the flowers, you're going to start seeing a lot more vibrant colors in your flowers. The leaves on a lot of plants are going to start changing color. You're going to get some yellows and purples and reds. That's completely normal. That's when you know the plant is going to sleep. So the next biggest thing for the fall is a lot of people think you need to stop watering sooner than you actually should, which isn't true. A lot of the plants are still growing and they still need that moisture, especially with this really nice weather we've been having. A lot of plants still have these green leaves. Some of them are still flowering. You still need to water them. So after you've got it planted, you want to give it a nice soak. All the way around the plant. If it's freshly planted, you have to water it in really well. That's very important. And things that are already been planted or earlier in the year, definitely keep up on that watering. When plants start losing their leaves, the trees, when they start dropping all their leaves, that's when you want to cut back a little bit more and slow down on the watering. Pretty much you let the plants tell you what they need. Follow what they're saying. So it's closer into October when you've cut back on the watering, you're letting the plants go a little bit more dry. Things have lost their leaves. You're going to wait that long until right before freeze up when things go like solid for the winter. All your plants, as much as you can, or especially the ones that have been freshly planted in the last year, give them one really deep soak. You want to let that water just seep into the root ball right before freeze, so that when the weather changes, then that whole ice block just freezes solid and those roots are nice and insulated for the winter time. So everyone knows what our winters are like in Saskatchewan. We start putting on our winter jackets. This is when you need to start putting winter jackets on your plants, basically. You need to give them a bit more insulation. So right around the base of your plant, right, you've got your little catmint here, and then you've got some extra mulch. You're gonna pile it in right around the base of the plant. A lot of people will have this mulch just as decoration on top of your beds. That works great. I would pile even more on just to be safe. You never know what our winters are gonna do. If you don't want to have that cleanup of taking out like dried debris from your mulch in the spring, you can even bag it up in like a black garbage bag, put it on top of your plant, weigh it down, and then that's easy cleanup in the spring. So right around your plant, you can use bark mulch like this. You can use dried leaves from all your trees when they start dropping their leaves. Peat moss works good. Grass clippings do not work. They compact too much and they get really moldy around the plant, and that's not what we want. Okay, so the mulch is basically, it's for the root system of the plant. The top growth, this is all going to die off, right? This is a perennial. We've got some shrubs here. They're all going to lose their leaves. The top growth is a plant. It doesn't matter. The plant doesn't care about that. It's worried about the root system. That's where all the energy is. So you don't have to cover the top. This is all going to die off, which is what you want, right? In a perennial, all of this dead foliage, it's just going to dry off, look really ugly here. You can leave that during the winter. I definitely recommend leaving it because that will act as more insulation for the roots, and then do your cleanup in the spring. If you really want to clean everything up in the fall, go for it. I would just add a little bit extra mulch just to make sure that they're nice and secure for the winter. One last tip for insulating your plants for the winter. Everyone knows in Saskatchewan we get tons of snow. You're going to want to keep that snow on your plants. If your flower beds get full of snow, leave it. This is perfect for them. The last few years we've been having a thaw mid-winter and then it freezes again. That's what kills the plants. So if you start seeing that it's thawing out, the snow is disappearing, grab your shovel, throw more snow on all your plant beds. That's gonna keep them nice and toasty for the winter, all season long. The last part about fall cleanup is pruning all of your plants. And for perennials, you don't really need to prune because all of that top foliage is gonna die back to the ground anyway, so you're not pruning it. But your shrubs and your trees, you do wanna prune some of those. They are specific on when you can prune, so you can always give us a call, email us. We'll be happy to tell you what you can prune when. Most general shrubs you can prune late fall, so a lot of things you want to wait until they start losing some leaves and they start going more into the dormant phase. So right now, wait a few more weeks, closer into October. Hydrangeas you want to prune late winter, early spring, right before the snow leaves and things start leafing out again, except if you have an Annabelle and Incredible hydrangeas, those ones you want to prune now, kind of late fall. So I don't know what kind this is, so I'm not actually going to prune it. But if you were going to, you'd want to take off all of these old flowers. Take your pruners right above where the leaves meet the stems. You want to prune right there. Anything lanky, kind of going sideways, you want to prune your shrubs to shape. If you're pruning in the spring, anything that's died out over the winter, prune that right out. Yeah, you just want to make them beautiful and ready for next year. And the trees as well, anything that's kind of crossing branches, you want to get those back and ready so they can grow properly. Okay friends, that's it. You're ready to get your plants ready for fall now. Get your planting beds all ready, get everything cleaned up. The biggest thing is just listening to your plants. They're going to tell you what's going on. With the nice weather we're having, things are looking really good right now, so you don't have to start quite yet. Yeah, listen to them. They're going to tell you what they need in terms of watering, and then make sure to remember that mulch. That is the biggest thing. I want you to remember this. If you have any questions, if anything's confusing, definitely give us a call, email us, come into the store. Dutch Growers Under the Windmill.